We have got so much to catch up on. Welcome back. I am going to be talking about what's been going on, Hyrox, the app, the AI app, and what else? Oh, awards, and just all things Q4. The last part of Manuka Media. Some of the struggles, the challenges that I've been through. The exciting stuff happening with Ladies Who Can. So yeah, we've got so much to unpack. So let's just go straight into it and let me unpack all that's been going on. And in every single thing that I say, share and do, I just hope that you take one little nugget, one ray of hope, one boost of confidence that you can implement today in your business and in your life. So let's go. So Hyrox, ironically, speaking of the biggest training I've ever done in my life, has been an incredible journey. And so many of you have been behind it, have been supporting me, have been there every step of the way. So thank you so, so much for all the encouraging support. So I'm going to be speaking about how I trained, why I did it, how it worked. If you're interested as well, how it works and what I learned from it, what I got from it. I'm also going to be talking about awards, so more on this in just a second. I'm also going to be sharing things about my AI app and Ladies Who Can. So let's kick things off with Hyrox. Hyrox basically has been something that has been around for years now, but at my gym, they're a Hyrox affiliated gym. I've joined for the last couple of years. I've been with a personal training gym. So it's all small group PT. You can't just go in there and do your own training at any time. You have to be a part of a class or a group. And so you've got to book in your slots. And they've always spoken about Hyrox, Hyrox, Hyrox. And I decided to join this gym because I felt really lost in my previous gym where I was on my own and I could go in any time, but I just felt like I wasn't really pushing myself. I wasn't really, unless I was with a PT, which I had leading up to when we got married. So leading up to the wedding, I had a personal trainer, but that was like once a week. And then the rest of the time it was kind of left up to me. And I just felt like it got me so far and I was happy for the wedding. But thereafter, I just felt like I wasn't really pushing myself. So anyway, I joined this gym and I started being surrounded by like really great athletes and competitive athletes as well. People that had done CrossFit, people that had done Hyrox, marathons, and so many other competitions. And that really exposed my belief and my ability to know that it was potentially accessible to me too, but not immediately. At first, I was like, oh dear, I'm nowhere near these people and they're so much more advanced, they're so much stronger. Therefore, this is not accessible to me. This is not available to me. I won't be able to do Hyrox. And so I kind of put it to the back of my mind. And here we are 2 years later after being with her for 2 years. During the summer, like the early release tickets were coming out and people were purchasing them. And I'd seen over the months of being there how different abilities had given it a go, different ages, different abilities. And I was like, I started to recognize, well, if you can, I can too, potentially. But I always held myself back and I didn't want to do Hyrox with anyone. I knew I didn't want to do it on my own because it would just be too daunting and too intimidating. At least that's where I'm at right now. I thought I'll do a doubles, but who am I going to partner with? Because I don't want to let them down, right? And that was my barrier. I was like, I don't want to let people down because I'm not as strong as them and not as fast as them. What if I get injured? What if I can't do it? So I was really nervous about that. And so I just kind of didn't put my name in the hat until basically this summer where I said in the group, I was like, do you know what, guys, if anyone wants to partner with me, I would actually be interested. And immediately I got a DM by one of the girls who eventually became my doubles partner. She was like, oh my God, Roz, I would absolutely love to do it with you. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, totally. So we did it. I think I'd asked someone before I put my name in the hat. And I was like, if I put my name in, do you want to do it? And she was like, oh, I can't. I don't know what she said, but she couldn't. I was like, oh. she was my only friend at the time. And I was like, okay, never mind. So when I just put my name in the ring, name in the hat, I was like, whoever picks me, I'm just going to say yes. And they did. They picked me and I was like, yes, I would absolutely love to do it. So I had 6 months to start my training from when the tickets came out and to take it really seriously. But then I quickly realized that this is a runner's race. Like when you start doing the training, like the Hyrox sims and the Hyrox training that we do at the gym, I started taking them more seriously. And the training started becoming more around the running alongside all the stations that you have to do. So if you don't know, Hyrox is 8 kilometers plus 8 stations. So the 8 stations are broken down in between the 1K followers. So not followers, what was I talking about? 1K running. Gosh, I'm in my job mode. So 1K running, then you do a station, then you do another K, then you do a station, then you do another K. So like the stations are sled. No, sorry, let's start in order. So, and I hope I get this all right. So you start with 1K run, then 1K ski, then you run again, and then you come back and do sled pull, then sled push, then row, burpees, sandbag carries, farmer's carries, or sandbag lunges, farmer's carries, and then wall balls. You end with wall balls. But in between those stations, I don't know if I've got them in the right order. It's all a blur for me. In between those stations, you do 1K runs. So I very quickly realized that I'd signed up to something that I seriously regretted. I was like, oh my God, I can't run. I haven't been running for years because actually the last time I ran was during lockdown, and I was doing like 3Ks, 5Ks, and I was building up to 5K. And every time I'd get close to 5K, I'd get a swollen ankle or a swollen knee, which would set me back a week, and then I'd go again. So I had to stop because when I'm weight training, I need all the strength that I can get. So if I'm going to be injured from running, it's going to hold me back in all other ways. So I was like, you know what? I'll just give up running. So I just stopped running and my fitness got better with other cardiovascular exercises. So what was frustrating is that when I was running, I wasn't tired, like 3K, 5K, but I was injured. So my knee would hurt so badly that I was limping, and there was times where I was like looking at my shadow, and then when I saw my shadow, I was like, I can't keep going like this. I can't run through it like you run through a stitch. Like this is really painful. So started seeing the physio, started seeing different physios actually. Some who told me you have nothing wrong with your knee, just keep training on the running and then you'll get better. Others told me to stop running entirely and actually even consider not doing Hyrox because it would cause longer term damage. And others just, tickled my knee a little bit and they were like, yeah, come back next week for 4 weeks in a row. And I was like, what? It was just so annoying that I couldn't really find or pinpoint a problem. But basically, long story short, it sounds like runner's knee, and where underneath my kneecap, I've got like cartilage wear and tear where it's worn away. So when I'm running, there's not like, it just hurts. It just really hurts, guys. It feels like pins and poles like going through my knee, and it's jarred. But it's not jarred, if that makes sense. Anyway, enough about that. The point is, it was agony. So I was training on the stations just fine. Like I was doing burpees fine. I was doing ski, row, everything, sled pulls, everything was fine. Apart from as well, the wall balls. The wall balls were hilarious because although I can do wall balls, I wasn't practicing during the sessions, a normal like weight training sessions to the target. So the gym that I go to, they got the official Hyrox targets, so that we had to hit that target. And about 3 weeks prior to the race, to the official race, I couldn't hit the target. And it was actually really embarrassing. It was like, oh my God, if I don't hit the target, I'm going to get no reps, right? Because that's something, again, if you don't know, you get no reps, which means you have to do, so in the wall ball section, you have to do 100 wall balls between the two of you. How you split that is up to you based on your strengths. Most people split it 50-50. with my partner and I did more than for every 10 that I did, she did 5, just because it became, isn't that funny? It became my strongest station in comparison to her. She had a stronger station like on the pull and the push, but like especially the sled pull. But I had a stronger station maybe on the farmer's carry and the wall balls. So we decided that because that was her weakest station, I would do more wall balls. But isn't it ironic that 3 weeks prior to the race, the wall balls were my worst? But I focused every time I went in, because I was going in daily to the gym, as I do anyway. Well, I go like 5-6 times a week. I was going in 6 times a week, and every finisher, so when we would do a finisher at the gym, I'd say, can I practice a Hyrox move? So most of the time it would be practicing like my grip strength for the farmer's carry, or the sled push and the sled pull, and also most importantly the wall balls, because I couldn't hit the target. Anyway, I eventually became an utter pro where I could do 10 wall balls unbroken. And so that sped up our time, and also it allowed me to carry that weight because she was really struggling with wall balls. So I just learned so much from that. I like the analogy of like working on your weaknesses, focusing on them, and really making them become your strength. And it's so true what they say is you only hate the exercises that you're not good at. Like loads of people hate burpees because they might not be good at burpees or haven't got the cardiovascular endurance to deal with burpees. But actually, if you practice those and become good at them, you will actually enjoy them. So my favorite questions that people were asking me about Hyrox were, what were your favorite stations? And I would say, hands down, burpees and wall balls. They were my 2. I'd say farmer's carry. If I could pick 3, then I'd say farmer's carries, then burpees, then wall balls. But yeah, I love those 3 stations, just because the ski and the row is a bit boring. It's a bit heavier on your heart because you've just finished running but it's easy to do but boring. The sled pull just wasn't pulling. Like it's not the same machine as what you would use. Like the ski erg is exactly the same as what we've got in the gym, but the sled pull and the sled push, the rope and the bars are different. So it feels different, doesn't feel the same. The grips are weird, they're off, and the weight just doesn't feel the same. So yeah, it's the only one that kind of shocks you a bit. Farmer's carries is quite easy because it's kettlebells that you can hold in the gym anyway. So yeah, all in all, those were my favorite stations, and my least favorite was the pull because we don't really practice that a lot in the gym, and there's a bit of a special technique to it which I haven't quite got down. But yeah, so that was leading up to Hyrox. Those were my challenges. It was like I couldn't do the wall balls, I couldn't run, and so there came a point between talking to all the different physios that I'd seen and talking to my PT, and I was really panicked and really nervous. I nearly had to quit because I was like, oh, I don't know if it's a good idea for me to do it this year. Maybe I'll just hold off until next year. And I think we do that, don't we? We do that in our business. We do that in our personal life where we're like, oh, not just yet. I'm not perfect yet. I'm not ready yet. But actually, I was never going to be ready because you just don't know what the next 6 months will bring. Like the next race for Hyrox is in March. Tickets have already sold out for that. But how do I know I'm going to be ready by March? There's going to be other problems that might come up, and you just can't predict where you're going to be. So sometimes, getting through it is the goal, and that's what became my goal. I basically just said to myself and the partner, we were both very much aligned. So that's the other thing I would say is choose a partner who you're definitely aligned with energetically in terms of competitiveness, because I'm competitive against myself. Like during the race, I was racing against me. I couldn't see anyone in my periphery. I couldn't see anyone around me. It was just me, my breath, and my steps. It was like, how can I do this station as best as I possibly can, rather than how can I beat that person and get a better time? Because we agreed as a partnership that we would have fun with it. In fact, we were dancing, well, not dancing, we were like singing the way round. So like when we were running, we were like miming the words because there's like an amazing DJ that plays music whilst you're running. And the people on the side, like the crowd when they're watching, which gives you so many good vibes and energy, they were like cheering, even though they didn't know who we were. They were there for like their own relatives or whatever, but they would catch our eyes. They're like, yes, girls, keep singing. Like we definitely felt really positive and energized throughout the whole race. Whereas I saw some people, and of course they, everyone, it's their own individual race, but like some people were obviously taking it seriously from a point of view of like time. And that is absolutely the way that they should do it, because they might be doing it for a job or for sponsorship. They might be trying to get a Hyrox affiliation. We were just there for the vibes. We were just there for a personal accomplishment. So we just vouched and promised to ourselves that we would just enjoy the journey. And the goal was just finish it. It wasn't get it done in a specific time. So obviously I had a lot of people asking questions like, oh, Roz, what time did you do it? Like when I say I did Hyrox, like, what time did you do it in? And I'm like, yeah, 1:38. And they're like, oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Because obviously you hear people do it in sub an hour, but you also hear a lot of people do it in 1:20, 1:10. But we did it in 1:38, which was faster than our sim time. So at least we beat that because we're just getting better and better and better. But our goal was just get it done, get it finished, keep going. So it has been one hell of a journey from start to finish. So, okay, so let me break down again what else happened. So we then, so the training, fine, train. It meant I had to avoid a lot of socials. I even had like friends and industry friends who were hosting events. Like I had 2 events that I was invited to on the very same day. That was the day before my sim. So I was invited to 2 events on the 15th of November, both epic. Like one was in Birmingham for a shout out to Athena out there. So Athena from Girls in Property, she invited me to like the winter retreat or Christmas party. Couldn't go because I said to her, look, the next day on the 16th of November, I've got my first and last sim, as in this is the final time I can practice the full race before the real show, before the real race. And she totally understood, but I couldn't be there to support her and I couldn't be there to mingle and network with, my peoples. But also on the 15th of November, in the opposite end of the direction. So Athena was in Birmingham, and another invitation by Sonny from Founders Club, if he's listening or if anyone knows him. But again, he'd invited me to an epic party, which was their like annual blowout party at the Natural History Museum. And I was allowed to bring a +1. So Matt would have loved that. But again, had to say no to that. Even if I went without drinking, to either parties, I couldn't, because I needed the rest, I needed the nutrition, and I needed the sleep before the sim. So yeah, basically training for something like Hyrox, at least how I did it, I had to sacrifice basically, socials, alcohol, which is not that difficult to do because I don't drink that much anyway. But when it's event season, particularly during November and December, to try and train for a race and not drink and not go out and socialize is very, very hard. But I did what I could. So certain events that I attended, especially daytime conferences, I just didn't drink during those events, and I just tried to get home early and still try and fit in a training session. But for those events that were like evening based or too far away, I just couldn't do it. So that was the training, and then the recovery. So, oh no, the outfits. Okay, so lots of you have asked about like my orange outfit that matched my partner. So yeah, I was hearing from previous people that, let me just take a drink, guys. I have not stopped talking for 19 minutes. Bear with. Okay. So lots of people asked about the outfit, the all orange outfit. A lot of people thought I was going to wear yellow. They were like, oh, I bet you're going to wear yellow. So I decided not to wear yellow because I feel like I have to justify when I don't wear yellow. Because I associate yellow to work, right? And I wear yellow for work, or my pink and orange for money honey, right? As you can see, I've got a yellow candle, a pink diffuser, yellow candles back here as well, pink and orange walls. So, very on brand. But I thought this is a personal accomplishment. I didn't want that was the other thing. I didn't want to force my partner to wear yellow, either, because like yellow's got nothing to do with her, right? She's got no affiliation to yellow. So we were just shopping around. So I'd heard that at Hyrox, especially for the women's doubles, the girls match their outfits, like they'll probably wear black shorts and a matching top, like they'll both wear a purple top or a pink top. And people did go full out, guys. Like there was some outfits with like the hair decor, like they had like ribbons in their hair that matched. They had like socks that matched and skirts that match. Like honestly, some outfits are like proper costume outfits rather than like gym outfits, right? It was wild, like lots and lots of fabulous designs out there. But because I'd heard that at Hyrox the women's doubles match their outfits just so that you can see that you're a partnership, I started shopping. Obviously, I started shopping around for like cute matchy outfits, and I came across this gorgeous 3-piece set by Owner Active. Is it Honor or Owner? I don't know. Someone clarify. But I saw Honor Active and I was like, I've never shopped with them actually. I've not got anything from their selection. So it was a bit of a risque move. So I ordered it and I said to my partner, look, I'll try it. If we like it, order it and see if what you think. So I approved it with her first, run it by her. And it basically was this orange crop top with orange shorts. Oh, that was the other thing. She definitely wanted to wear shorts. I'm not a short fan because I don't like my legs. Like it's just, if I can avoid it, I'll just wear like leggings because I hate like the feeling of being, so some shorts aren't very flattering for like curvy girls. It just, they ride up or you get a camel toe. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want shorts, but I wanted to be flexible for her. So I was like, I will wear shorts, but as long as we find a pair of shorts that I feel comfortable in. So these shorts are like those cycling shorts where you've got like a bit of a skirt over the top and then like the cycling shorts underneath. So it's not like super tight. Anyway, tried it on, socks, shorts, bralette, and she loved it. She absolutely fell in love with the outfit. So she ordered her own version, but with a different type of top. And yeah, basically we had this all orange, all everything orange suit for the day. People really commented on it. Like even the judges, whilst we were like arriving at the stations, are like loving the outfit, girls. I love the matching. So yeah, we proper, we got lots of compliments about it, but also it just matched our energy. Like orange is very bold, fun and energetic. So yeah, we had an amazing time with that. Really, really enjoyed it. Recovery. So speaking about lead up to Hyrox, during Hyrox, let's speak about during actually. So during, what happens is you turn up no more than 2 hours early, because you've got to really queue up and do your check-in, which can take at least half an hour, right? So you do your check-in, and that takes up half an hour of your time. Then you've got an hour and a half to basically squeeze in your change of clothes if you haven't arrived ready already, go to the toilet as many times as possible, and warm up. Like you want to warm up as much as possible and really also like kind of acclimatize yourself to the environment, but you don't want to go too early because then you're overstimulated because there's so many people. It is heaving. There's food stations, there's drink stations, there's Hyrox World where you can buy gear. There's loads of people, and so it is quite overwhelming. So you want to arrive early enough to acclimatize and not be rushing, but then at the same time you don't want to be too early. So yeah, during, we just like warmed up, we stretched, we did our check-in. I got a little snack. And then, yeah, the race was off and we did it, and it was absolutely euphoric. It was amazing. So recovery wise, I basically just had to top up on my calories and my sleep. That was it, to be honest. My husband and I had a celebratory dinner straight after Hyrox, but because my wave time was really late, we started at 8 p.m, which meant that we finished at 20 to 10. And by the time we got changed and everything, it was 10:30, 11:15 by the time me and Matt were able to sit down at a restaurant. The nearest one we could find, I had a shit pizza, to be honest, but that was my dream. It was like, I want to finish Hyrox and have a pizza and an Aperol Spritz. But the pizza wasn't really my I'm a bit of a snob with my pizza, right? I'm Italian. I'm allowed to be. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of the pizza, but I just shoved it down and I had two Aperol spritz and then just went to bed. We got a cab home. So since then, I literally just have been training at the gym every single day. I've been sleeping, eating my calories as normal, and I only did two nights of indulgence, like the night of Hyrox and the day after I went out for like to a Turkish restaurant with some friends and I had a couple of glasses of wine. Since then, I have been back on track. You know, a lot of people are like, Roz, are you going to slow down now? Like literally the question, I get it. I do understand. You know, the question's been like, are you going to slow down now that you've finished Hyrox? No, it's not that I'm speeding up or slowing down. It's you go back to normal. Like I'm going back to normal. I'm training every day. I'm eating my nutrients every day. I'm hydrating. I'm sleeping. I'm resting. I'm exercising. That's it. Like there is nothing complex other than that. Like that's just what I do. So yeah, I've gone back to normality. I'm staying on top of my routine because with Christmas, it's very easy for, at the time of recording this, it's only the 12th of December. I don't know when it's going to come out, but leading up to Christmas, it's easy to just start slouching and relaxing and, flexing your routine. And I know we need to be human. I know we need to do that. But I just think like, if that being normal and being human and relaxing a bit makes me feel worse, then that's not really a treat, is it? So I'm not going to start easing off on the training and start eating more and drinking more and exercising less because it just makes me feel awful. And I've done it every year where I'm like, I'm just going to take a massive break and then hit it back again in January. Well, this is why in January it's hard to go back to the gym because you're only trying to survive on motivation, not on discipline and habits. And that is something that, again, people forget. Like, it's not that hard. People are, how do you stay on top of it? I'm like, because I don't stop in a sustainable way. Like if I went, some people's personalities are full out to the max, 100% everything, but they also have 100% of nothing, as in they will go fall off the wagon and be completely on the other edge, the other end of the spectrum. Whereas I'm kind of like in the middle, just steady, consistent, not too aggressive at either end. And it still it works for me anyway. And that's the same with my business, the same with my content, same with my networking, same with everything I do. It just is about doing that boring day-to-day work, day in, day out. It's not glamorous, it's not sexy, it's not going to go viral on Instagram. It is just the boring day-to-day, just get your head down and do the basics that work. And over time, you'll see the results. And that applies to my pipeline, that applies to my content, that applies to my fitness, that applies to my team building, everything. So that's how I approached Hyrox. Let me just turn the heating down because I'm getting hot. So yeah, that was my Hyrox strategy. Just chip away, keep going, practice, and don't overexert yourself to the point where you're maxing out just to get the glorified time of having done it in a specific amount of time. And you're still probably going to be happy because if I would have got the time done in 120, I'd be looking at people that do it in 110. If I would have done it in 110, I'd be looking at people that did it in an hour. So you're never going to be satisfied. So yeah, just run your own race is my top tip from my Hyrox journeys. Run your own race, stay the course and concentrate on you and your efforts. Other updates, guys. So moving on to all things AI and my AI marketing app. I have been steady. Again, this is more like a soft launch that I've done rather than all out. Here it is. Everyone get on it. I've done a much softer launch. Perhaps in 2026, this is, I still have to map out my goals and stuff like that, but that's probably going to be the year. But the soft launch has been a ride, there's been ups and downs, okay? There's been ups and downs. So let me just explain where all this came about. So again, the summer for me was a transformative period because remember, as I said, the summer was the time that I decided to sign up to Hyrox. And it was also the summer where I'd lost a best friend. She died, unfortunately. It was also the summer that I'd suffered a personal health concern. And it was the first summer, just, my grandma had just died in the spring. So a lot of heartache and personal turmoil this summer. Yet it became the most transformational, like the biggest highlights of my year have happened during the most traumatic times of my year. So whilst all these bereavements were around me and these personal heartaches, I was training for Hyrox and at the same time building an app. And the app came off the back of, when you're like ill and you're like in bed and, you're a bit sad and, you're not yourself. And your brain starts thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, I've got this idea, I've got a vision, and on the board, I can see my board here. The board kept saying, what if AI was to take over my job? What if AI took over my job? And I just kept saying that. I was like, what if AI takes over my job? And as I said that, I was like, this could be an opportunity. I could be the creator of that. I could actually take matters into my own hands and decide on my own destiny. I can do that. And so I challenged AI and said, go on then, take my job. And I designed on this A3 board everything that I do in my business, how I analyze brands, how I create brand strategies, how I create content ideas, how I build pipelines for my clients, or how I design the strategy for my clients. And then I thought, how can I teach that to AI? How can I teach that? How can I make AI do that? And before you know it, like literally, I got to work Googling, Google, ChatGPT, what am I doing? And I encountered a platform where I could build my own app. Because that's what I was looking for. I was like, how do I build my own? And I did it. I literally did it within 72 hours of non-stop, back-to-back, intensive hours. This burst of inspiration, this vision came to me. I started vibe coding that I've never done before. And I kept surprising myself and surprising myself and surprising myself. And I was like, oh my God, I think I've done it. So, and when I say I think I've done it, I knew it wasn't the end product because I could see it. I was like, I'd buy this, but I don't think it's my forever product, right? I can always improve it, but I think I've created a minimal viable product here. So I presented it to my husband. I gave him the whole vision for what my app was going to be about. I then started talking to some industry professionals and just getting the feelers out there. And I had, someone very interested saying, do you know what, I want to be in on this, as in they offered me like an NED sort of role where they would help me get it out there. I mean, we haven't still done much at the moment, but yeah, they would help me get it out there and coach me along the way. So I just thought I'll build it in quietly in the background. I'll just do my own thing for now until it is ready. Again, one of those moments where you never feel ready enough. You never feel perfect. You never feel like you've made it. So you just hold yourself back. And I was like, I'll wait. Now, this was around about August, right? So this was about August that I'd built it. And it came to October. And I was speaking to the NED that I just mentioned, and I was speaking to her, and she goes, well, why don't you do the soft launch, and why don't you launch it at my conference, at my event? And I was like, when's your event? I would love to do that. She was like, oh, in 10 days time. I was like, 10 days? I was like, 10 days? I've got, like, this app is just a concept right now. It's not. She was like, you'll get it ready. You'll do it. I was like, oh my God, I've got 10 days to build a landing page, a payment system, a gateway system, test it, run it, make sure it actually does what it says it's going to do. And it wasn't doing it. And then I had to find a developer. And I had to spend money that I didn't think I was going to spend. So I had to find, so I was saying to her, I was like, listen, I've got to the maximum that I can reach. You're not a technical person either, in the sense that you're not going to develop this for me. But, you know, you've given me this opportunity to launch it at your event. However, I don't really have the expertise to make this real, like, you know. So she was like, yeah, you'll work it out, so I was like, right, okay, off I go. So yeah, I just started searching, and oh my god, guys, there was times, if this shed could talk, I have cried in here, I have screamed in here, I have been exasperated, I've been down, I've been kicking myself. This shed has a lot of stories to tell, and it's not as rosy and pink as it might appear. It's been dark. It's been really dark. It's been really stressful. My God, my most stressful quarter being Q4 because of this app, because of trying to train for Hyrox, keep my energy levels for that, whilst also trying to get an app ready to launch to a community of finance and mortgage professionals and banking professionals on a stage in a massive conference. And I was really nervous. I was just absolutely not ready. But anyway, I paid this developer to help me. They helped me. But then a few days after the launch, problems, issues. I get, you know, was getting a couple of people saying, oh, hey, I signed up. I thought it was going to be for free. I didn't realize you were going to charge me. I was like, yeah, it says you're going to get, you know, it's 7-day free trial. And then after, they're like, oh yeah, no, it's not something I'm looking for. I just wanted to try it. I was like, right, okay, but okay, fine. Here's a refund. So refunding people. But whilst I was refunding people, I was actually paying the developer to fix problems. So I was like, oh, this is great, isn't it? What a great business model. Refunding money while spending money at the same time. I was like, well, this is genius, Roz. And actually, the more you talk to other developers and tech founders and startups, it is so normal. Like, that is the way, you know, you're never going to have a finished product. You're always developing, you're always improving. So yeah, I have had to do a lot of fixing and everything. But since Hyrox, if I'm honest, I've not been able to spend or dedicate any time to the app, because it's coming up to the end of the year. I've just prioritized, you know, making sure that client work is finished, client work is diligent and prepared and everything. I've had to spend time sorting out like events, speaking gigs, podcasts. Like, it's just so much going on that I haven't really had. So I've done a couple of soft launches, one at that event, one to my to another private women in mortgages community who you know, gave me so much encouragement and great vibes and really good support. They really did, and I appreciate it. So yeah, so I had an amazing soft launch with some nice customers on board, so fingers crossed it still goes smoothly. But now I need to do a bit more of a the hard launch. So yeah, if you're interested, obviously, if you haven't known about the app yet and you are in property or finance, particularly finance and mortgages, or you're, you know, in that kind of sector, the app is more geared towards you. And it allows you to basically, it's an all-in-one marketing app. If you're feeling lost as to what your strategy should be, or what content ideas you are struggling with, and, you know, staring at ChatGPT just isn't helping, or it sounds too generic, you want something that sounds more personable, but also you want to do some research on like content out there that really works and get inspiration and examples. The app searches viral content for you in your category, in your space. So like, for example, you could type in the word like property investing, and it will search the internet for like the most viral content in property investing, and then it will show you examples of different types of content. So yeah, it's really good. I love it, but it's definitely going to improve as I get more spend and budget, you know, to elaborate on it. So that's all things regarding my app at the moment. And then the final closing point that I wanted to make was about awards. So this little star right here, if you can see it, right? This was given to me at the Social Selling Hive. So basically, the Social Selling Hive is an event that I run twice a year. So once in London and once in Manchester. And it's an all-day, all-in-one workshop to revamp your social media strategy, give you content ideas, camera confidence, LinkedIn lead generation hacks, how to build content through AI, and it's a workshop. It's an all day workshop. So it's been a sellout every year. I've done it. This is my second year now running it, but I did have a blip again in the summer. Again, there's something about this summer that I need to analyze or just to contemplate and reflect. But yeah, so the one in London I had to cancel because I didn't sell any tickets for it. But then there was demand for Manchester. So once I'd launched the Manchester one, I was getting messages about London, people saying, when's the London one? I was like, oh my God. So anyway, long story short, I hosted this event in Manchester. And one of the delegates there, if she's listening, I hope she can hear this or someone can let her know that you've heard about it in the podcast. But one of the delegates is Sadie Harrison, who now has gone back to working at Together. We used to work together at Together. She left, I left, and then she's now gone back to Together. And she is an absolutely, what a bundle of joy Sadie is. Like, a super character, super lovable, super sharing, giver, and nurturer. She's really nurturing. So she was one of the delegates. She bought a ticket, or Together bought a ticket for her to level up her confidence with her personal brand on LinkedIn, and how to become more dynamic on LinkedIn with her content and just have that courage. And she turned up with this. Now, she gave me this little star. She actually had this star personally made. It says Rosalia Lazara, inspirational leader, badass boss lady. And she made this because we've known each other for years and years and years. And she knows from following my journey that I've also posted about the fact that I've never won an award, ever. Now, as much as you guys see me bold and confident and going to awards, being put forward for awards, nominated for awards, shortlisted, top 3, I always get to top 3 and never win it, right? So I post about that openly. I openly share that I've never won an award. I've been nominated 3 or 4 times, like in the Women's Recognition Awards within the mortgage industry. I've been Rising Star. I've been Entrepreneur of the Year twice, Spokesperson of the Year once, Marketer of the Year, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, so I've been nominated and shortlisted, and I've been up there on the board as the top 3 or top 5, but never taken home a trophy. And Sadie, being the wonderful human that she is, she made me my very own trophy, which now lives right here, so I can look at it every single day. Not that, but what my point here with trophies, guys, is that it's not the trophy, okay? That doesn't matter. What I want to encourage with this part of my podcast is to put yourself forward, put your name in the hat, put yourself out there. I've not been applying for these awards. I've been nominated, which is an honor in itself. Like, that was the honor, is to even be recognized enough for someone to put your name in the hat. That has been my honor. But what I'm trying to say is that even though I haven't won any of the awards, I've been to every event. I've clapped for everybody else. I've danced till the end of the night. I've posted about it. I've congratulated people. I've interviewed all the nominees and all the winners that have said yes to being on the show. And I do it anyway. And it's not about the winning. It's about, I know it's like, oh, it's about taking part. But taking part is part of being recognized. Not just winning isn't, because you're never going to know if you win or not. The point is about being seen and about being in the right room and about being acknowledged and being recognized, rather than sitting at home with the trophy, because it is very, very hard to win. The competition is fierce. The competition is good fierce. Like, there are so many talented women, so much creativity and so much talent in our industry, that it's really hard. They do say when you'll get to the end and they're like, it was really hard to judge this character, category. It was really hard. It's really hard. So no matter what, I'd say if there's one thing that you do differently for 2026 or beyond, I don't know when you're going to watch this video, but if there's one thing that you haven't done yet in your business that you should change, is applying for awards. If you're not applying to every award in multiple categories, by the way, because I'd made that mistake when I was nominated for an award, which was spokesperson of the year, for all the work that I do for championing women, etc. The mistake I made that year was not applying myself to the other categories like marketer of the year, best use of social media, I wasn't applying for that kind of stuff. So I was only putting my name in the hat for one category. So the lesson I've learned, which I'd like to pass over to you, is apply for multiple categories at the same time, apply for multiple awards, apply for even industry and non-industry awards that are in and outside of your industry. Like I also got nominated. I don't know who nominated me because I've never been in this circle, but the Flamingo Business Awards. I love the girl, Elizabeth McQuillan, and I've been following her. She's been a money honey on the show, but I've never been to her event. I don't know. It's just not been on my radar, especially because she's in Blackpool and it's just really, worlds apart. But I got nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year. And I took it. I was like, fine, okay, I'll apply. But I also applied for AI Visionary and I got shortlisted for both. So I was a finalist for both. I didn't win, but I was there. I was a speaker on stage. I danced, that evening. I had dinner with people, and it got my name in the room. So if there's one thing that I would say is apply for multiple categories. What I would say, not just one thing, but apply for multiple categories, apply for industry and non-industry events, because the practice of applying and the practice of you writing and your story changes all the time. So just because you didn't win it that year, it doesn't mean you shouldn't apply again next time, because the categories change with different people in it all the time. So please, 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 if there's one thing that you take from this is, one, find yourself a Sadie in your life. Get a friend who is like Sadie. And if she doesn't get you, like if that friend doesn't get you your trophy, get one for yourself. Like I'd already had this on my desk. And for those people watching, I've got a plaque on my desk and it says business bitch energy. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say this is the exact description, but it was just the closest. I went to this shop and I found this like plaque and I was like, oh, that's really cute. So I have bought myself a plaque in the past, but this trophy trumps it. I love it and it's on my desk and I can see it every single day. So get yourself a Sadie friend and get yourself a trophy, because everyone is doing something extraordinary in their own right. It just, don't put the emphasis on that one winner who wins the trophy, right? That's not the only measure of success. So I feel hugely accomplished. Really, really, I really do. It doesn't mean I haven't got room for growth, and it doesn't mean I haven't got spaces to change, but I feel accomplished in Hyrox. I feel accomplished in my business. I feel accomplished in my projects. I feel accomplished because I am doing the best version of me today with the knowledge that I have, with who I am. I am being the best version of me. And in 5 months' time, in 5 years' time, I'll be looking back and be like, oh my God, I've grown so much. So I'm going to look little, or I'm going to look less experienced in 5 years' time looking back today. But today I am 5 years ahead of where I was in 2020. And I'm doing this episode, on the 12th of the 12th of 2025. And I don't recognize myself. I absolutely am a different person to who I was 5 years ago. And that's what truly matters. And I hope you take that and pocket that up and put that in your back pocket and in your heart as you enter the new year. So with that being said, I think I'm now going to take that as my last task of the day, because it's 20 to 5 on a Friday and I actually have a call about property actually. So I need to go. I've got to go, guys, but it's been an absolute pleasure to blurt out everything that's been bottled up in my head that I've been wanting to speak to everybody about. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for your enthusiasm, your questions and your support. Whether it's at one like, a comment or a DM, I appreciate you so much for making me feel heard and seen and visible. Like, honestly, it means so much to me. Thank you to all new people that are joining. If this is the first time you've come across the podcast, welcome. And please feel free to subscribe and follow so that you can stay up to date with all the episodes. Normally we interview people and sometimes I do a solo episode. So check out all the previous episodes. We've interviewed over 100 women in the property, finance and construction space. So we'd love to hear any suggestions or, nominations from you as well. So thank you. I'm Rosalia, and yeah, I will see you on the next show.